Okay, I think we're actually good to go. Why don't you continue?
Okay. So here we're at Mountain Peak once again. And so we're pretty much nearing the end of the game right here. Last couple of dungeons. I think this is the third to last that we're gonna have to go through. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I think there's, well, 4 bosses left. Yeah. Yeah, 4 bosses left. But they are pretty close to one each other at this point on. There's a few mandatory encounters with some minor cultists out here, but since we have some very strong mantras, we just wipe them really fast. And yeah, this boss coming up is also a big jerk. He's probably my least favorite boss in this run. Just because, well, he's fire elemental and you don't get that much fire protection items in this run. And also, well, you need to be very careful with how you manage your turn order, because if you don't, you can get hit with some pretty nasty earth attacks, and you have no way to protect against earth attacks in this run, so that could be very disastrous if it happens.
Right.
So yeah, Cronokirby will need to keep an eye on how many attacks he has done, keep track of it, as well as remember when to do the change his turn order for a specific turn, or sometimes when he needs to heal, that kind of stuff. But yeah, this guy, he can be pretty trolly as well. So let's see how it goes.
Okay, here we go.
Good luck.
No preemptive attacks would be nice.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a rough start.
Okay. It's all good, it's all good.
Yeah, you got this.
No. Just need to remember to put Sion and Foxy first for the last turn, and then we should be good. Okay. So that next boss is pretty easy, and the boss after that is pretty hard, so... Oh, also, like, one thing I forgot to mention, because I was kind of nervous about it, I think I actually forgot to give an extra Jack's mail, so I kind of had to improvise on some of the equipment, but it worked out okay. And now I don't need it anymore, so...
Yeah, it was good in the end.
This run could have been so much worse had I not reacted somewhat decently to the stuff that happened, so I'm glad at that at least. Even though I did lose quite a bit of time with all the stuff that happened. Oh well. So yeah, we're really approaching the end. So we just entered the netherworld, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanna backward. Oh wait, no. Oh. Confused me a bit because I got an enemy right before I was supposed to hit the torch. And so here we find Turos, after years of not seeing him around. And he's fighting the bad guys, so... looks like we can give him a hand. Ah.
Those little guys are so annoying. Because they are extremely fast. They have this sort of long attack animation on you, and they usually get preemptive hits on you, so you need to go through all of their attack animation twice, and this is a big time loss. But anyway, this boss fight coming up is pretty interesting for many reasons. One of them being that you will have to fight some minions before the actual boss, you could say it. And whether or not they get preemptive attacks on you or not is going to change up the strategy of the whole thing by quite a bit. Obviously, no preemptive attacks is the idea, but you can never tell with this game.
Sure.
So once again, we are using some of the mantras we created specifically for this fight, for these two fights alone. Some very strong AoE attacks. And the boss fight is pretty easy, really. There's not much to it. Just, you know, do the usual buff up, start attacking, kill the bad guy. And yeah, the bad guy was Tauros all along. the good thing about this boss, that he's just like Manku, one of the first bosses of the run, in that he decides that sometimes after he has taken a certain amount of damage, he will just decide he wants to waste a turn by talking instead of doing anything else. So that is extremely convenient, obviously for a speedrun, because we can, once we start dealing damage to him, he will waste half of his turns just talking to us. So after this point, it is obviously a very safe and easy fight.
Okay.
Good fight.
I had to make a
After
small
this we get-
adjustment because I didn't have enough MP with Foxy.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It still ended up being the. I know I wasted an extra turn. Oh well. Was it anything major? Yeah, at this point we're closing in on the end of the run.
Yeah. We're very close actually. Let's say 15 to 20 minutes until the end.
I'd say like 15 max.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah,
I think we
also
can still
something
pull
else-
this up too if we play well.
Yeah, definitely. It can be done. Okay, so coming up is a very important decision you have to make. After killing Taurus, you got his items. You got his sword, the Taurus sword, and a Psycho Shield. And at this point in the run, we need to make a decision involving whether or not we want to trade some of these items. And if I recall correctly, you can choose not to trade anything. You can choose to trade the shield for the Apocalypse Blade, one of the strongest weapons in the game. And you can choose to take one of the shields that Turlent is going to offer to you.
And this
In
affects what the
a-
next boss is gonna be.
Yeah, if you were doing a full game speedrun, you would choose not to trade anything. But since we are doing only Sion, it is faster to trade the Psycho Shield for the blade. Because as I explained I think a while ago, this is going to make the next boss be Fire Rudra, and Fire Rudra is faster because we skip a cutscene after the fight, so we save between 15 to 20 seconds on it.
Okay, this is the last
So
dungeon
yeah, we
right
are-
here.
Yeah, we're entering the final dungeon of the game.
Or at least this scenario.
Oh yeah, I mean, for this scenario. My bad.
I mean, if I were to do all 4 scenarios, it would take me about 7 hours. So I only, and also I have actually only run Sion and Riza so far. And like 7 hours is, and it's also like a very dense 7 hours too. Like it must be very tiring to run this all the way through.
Yeah, it is.
So like you need to stay focused with the entire 7 hours too. There's not a lot of cutscenes in this game.
Yeah, you don't have that much time for breaks if you're doing the whole game run. You get a few quick short breaks that are 40-50 seconds during the boat scenes, but that's it pretty much. It's an extremely fun run, though, I have to say, doing the all scenarios, because
Yeah.
the end game in a speedrun is really fun, and the final boss, even though he can be a jerk, is also a really fun fight to do in a
All the
speedrun.
final bosses are fun.
Yeah, that's true. So now we are going to be facing the dude that named this game, that is the Rudra. And as I said, depending on what you decided to trade back on, you will be fighting either a fire one or a thunder one. This is going to be the fire one. The other advantage that Fire Rudra has is that he is much slower, so this opens up a bit more of possibilities and reduces the chances of him trolling you.
Okay, I want no
Just thunder.
preemptives.
Nah, good start, good start.
Okay, good, no preemptives. Okay, Foxy, Sion, Nature, perfect. BMB. So I have Foxy and Sion in the front row, sort of to act as lightning rods, let's say. And they're well, I'm intensely trying to get the Rudra to attack them instead of other characters. Like that. Because a single target attack isn't that powerful actually, so.
Yeah, the thing about this fight is that at this point you only have two pieces of thunder protection gear, and they are on Sion and Foxy, so that's why they are in the front row. Characters in the front row are more likely to be attacked. So obviously Cronokirby is trying to redirect as many attacks as possible to them because they can tank them better.
And the single target attack does like 45 damage, so I don't have to worry about that at all. So I could have healed there if I had to, but I'm good health-wise, so. There we go.
Good fight.
If I play very well, I can get sub 2.
Yeah, it can be done. Definitely.
Like, according to my summon best, I can save 50 seconds on this split, which will put me, like, just enough to get sub 2. Which would be nice with everything that happened this round.
Yeah, what's your PD for this scenario? If I recall correctly, it's 155, isn't it?
Yeah, just barely sub 156. And the world record, I think you have it at, like, 150 something? I don't remember the seconds.
150, 55.
Which is, it's surprisingly hard to sub 50, just with, like, all the RNG that this run has, especially once you get to the lower part of the 50s. Because, like, you can use a ton of time to random encounters and stuff.
Yeah, at some time you really start relying on getting lucky with random encounters to save time.
That's why I kind of enjoy running cheat matches a bit more, because it's basically just execution. But this is more fun to watch. Because cheat matches, you don't have any battle animations too. That's the one thing I kind of don't like about that.
Yeah, that's a very interesting run. Okay, so it's going to be time for the final boss, and also the best music in the game, in my opinion. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This song is amazing. I will be quiet for a bit so you can all enjoy it. This fight is also very interesting for a few reasons. The main one is that this guy will be summoning minions for you to kill before you can actually, well, damage him. You need to kill all of his minions first. So on the first turn, everything we did was just to set up. We increase our spirit, our speed, our defenses, and then when he starts summoning minions, we are all powered up, so we can just kill them, hopefully in 1 or 2 turns. He will summon 3 different minions. The first one that already died, the little mage. This one is a Taurus clone. And the third one will be a mermaid clone. The mermaid is also interesting because, unlike every other enemy in this fight, it uses water attacks. So you will temporarily replace your dark protection with water protection. So you can better survive that boss fight. I mean that minion fight. And after the mermaid is dead, you will go back to your dark protection to take on Gomorrah. Gomorrah is the name of this final boss, by the way. Once the minions are down, this fight is really trivial, really, because Gomorrah only has one attack that can really put a dent on you, because it is an attack with no elemental affinity, so all of your dark protection equipment and barriers will do nothing to reduce the damage you take from it, so it can hit pretty hard. It's not going to be deadly, but maybe something that you will have to heal after you get this hit. Well, if it happens, it's very likely that he just won't use this attack ever, so there's nothing to worry about. And yeah, even though the mermaid uses water attacks, it is still considered a dark elemental enemy, so you still kill it with light attacks.
So I'm gonna switch to a slightly less powerful mantra just to conserve an MP.
Oh yeah, you will see that the animations are the same, but see, and
The text is slightly different.
To use a cheaper version, yeah. You know, Foxy will be using the cheaper version, and you will notice because it will do less damage as well. Well, Ture and Ramile, since they have a lot of MP, they just can keep using the stronger version of the mantra.
So at this point, it's just hold Kerber of the game. Unless,
Yeah.
and I need to, like, kind of watch my MP and just throw a quick heal if someone gets low. But besides that, like 1 to 2 more turns left. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna throw a quick heal right here. Just for safety. Like, honestly, this boss is pretty easy if you follow the script. Fire Rudra control a lot more than this boss.
Yeah, definitely. Fire or Thunder Rudra, both of them are really crawling.
Okay, I better kill him soon because I'm running out of MP. It looks like I'm gonna kill him soon.
Yeah, it should be, yeah, this turn should be enough.
Yep. Damn, that was a nice best. So, looks like we're gonna get the sub 4, the sub 2. So, we don't split immediately for the end of the run, we're gonna split once the end text appears. Because that's how the Nika runs are timed. Is from the start of the scenario to the end text.
Yeah, this is just 1 more minute or so. It doesn't take very long.
Yeah, 40 seconds. I'm still pretty happy with this run, even though I made quite a few mistakes. I still managed to not die, which is already something. I was quite afraid, especially when I didn't have those purifiers, and 2 of my guys were essentially out of combat. And forgetting the Jack's mail too. There we go. Right.
And that's it.
That's Science Scenario. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope we got to show what Treasure of the Rudras is like. A little snippet of it. This game is really amazing, and I'd recommend everyone play this casually. It's also a really fun speedrun too, if you want to pick it up.
Yeah, I do have to say, a lot of people are intimidated by the mantra system and how you have to enter your mantras in Japanese especially. But to be honest, I don't know anything about Japanese, and I still managed to learn how to enter my mantras.
If you're reading the mantras, you're not going fast enough. That's
yeah,
my motto.
you just need to find where the characters are and select them. I do not know Japanese, and I can do speedruns of this game, so if you want to, you also can.
Yeah.